So, does that mean that if the Valdosta Board of Education writes a check on November 9th, and that's coming up to Thanksgiving, will their teachers be able to cash their checks? Because the Valdosta City School System doesn't exist anymore. You can't write a check on an organization that no longer exists.
Wow.
The Lowndes County Board of Education has said, by not saying, well, we'll take it if we have to, but we really don't want you. The Valdosta Board of Education, they stayed silent on it. But they did issue a press release that says, we're doing better than we've ever done before, and we'll continue to do that until this issue is complete. Well, on November the 9th, it's complete. Because they no longer have any power. If you have a child that has to go before a tribunal on November the 9th, the Valdosta Board of Education cannot legally hear that case because they are not legally in charge.
I have a question on that next day. There's a period after the election that every law, 60 days minimum, because it has to be tried to see that if it's legal. So that next day is not legal. That's tonight. That's not a legal day.
It's not legal, but what they did, they wrote the question up without putting it on there.
If I put what on?
That they had 60 days.
That's the state law.
But the law in education says that, first of all, you have to exist.
Valdosta exists right now.
They exist, but they won't exist if it passes on November the 9th. They won't exist.
Well, on the 8th, it's going to pass.
If
but
it
then
passes.
it's just like elected officials that's not going to take office until January 21st or January 1st. This law isn't going to become effective in 2011, but it will be 2012, the first day or whatever.
Well, it's not the same way because a person that when you're an elected official, the person who's currently holding that position, term does not end until that period.
That's right.
Okay, but in this particular case, there is nobody.
They're going to be fired.
There is nobody. There is nobody.
Right.
But
it can't happen that quick. I mean,
well, it can't, with this particular, which is different than anything that we've ever had, that can happen. Now, Waycross, Ware County was the last system in our area that consolidated. Okay, and the reason why they consolidated is that the Waycross Board of Education could no longer support their education system. They ran out of money.
that was the inner city that ran out.
They ran out of money. And the reason why they ran out of money is because the railroad that supported them moved out.
So they picked up the tracks and left.
They went to Jacksonville.
Yeah, okay.
They went to Jacksonville. And so as a result, the Waycross Board of Education actually solicited people to allow them to give up their charter. Okay. Now, what happens with that's different from Valdosta is that the Valdosta tax base is much more stronger than the county.
So you got more.
Okay. So if you consolidate, it makes sense for the people who are in control, because now they can control the bulk of the money and get the least amount of service.
So in other words, right now Valdosta controls the bulk of the money.
Because Valdosta was smart enough to put together an infrastructure of water, sewer, and tax credits that the county has not put together.
Yes, right.
And large landowners have found that out. And in order to get their hands on that, their ultimate goal is not the Board of Education. Their ultimate goal is City Hall.
Right.
Because once they control City Hall, they control economic development.
Right.
And economic development is not coming south.
Right.
So there's a bigger picture here. And what I thought people were going to do is somebody had to see that this was a smoke screen. And the other thing that they won't tell you is that the thing that will change is massive busing in our community.
Okay.
We don't have neighborhood schools per se as we had when we were growing up, but we won't have it at all. Because first of all, the Justice Department is going to come down and they're going to draw the lines of where these school zones or the attendance zones are going to be. Once the vote is taken, and if it's approved and if it's not approved, they're going to decide where kids go to school. They're going to decide where teachers teach. Just because you're over at South Mahone today, don't mean you're going to be there. You may be at Lomax tomorrow. And you don't have any control of that. So they're taking out the local control to give it up to the federal government to make those decisions. Because Valdosta City Schools is already under a desegregation order that they've been under since the 1970s because they wouldn't do it right then. But they have done better. Because if you go in Lowndes County, their minority hiring is not good at all. It's not good at all. But the ultimate thing that I'm concerned about is that, first of all, tell me how this will help student achievement, and tell me how it would benefit our children. Whether it's black, green, purple, red, I don't care what color, y'all. Tell me, at the end of the day, when the dust is settled, tell me how merging the two school systems will make it better for the children. Now, if you can prove that to me, then I wouldn't be here today. I would have been on the other side. Now, they asked me to serve on their committee. And the way that they asked me to serve, they said, we can't get this done without you. We need you. You so everybody in the community knows you, and you just need to be on our committee. But you know, I suddenly remember, if you don't stand for something, you fall in. And what they were telling me, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't massage it. I couldn't put my teeth in it. And anything I can't massage or put my teeth in, I can't explain it to convince you. And so my message to everyone that I speak to is, first of all, if you figure that you're going to vote no on November the 8th, then you don't need to sign this petition. And somebody asked me, well, why would you not do that? Well, first of all, it's hypocritical for you to already know that you're going to vote no and sign the petition. If you sign a petition, you should be voting yes when it comes up to the ballot. Because what people are telling you when they come to your house is, oh, I don't believe in it either. I just want you to go ahead and sign so we can all, for once and for all, have a vote. Well, that's not the point. And this organization is so well run. I'm not sure where they're getting all this money from. I mean, it has to be almost $300,000 or $400,000 that they've been able to garner to run this campaign. They've got a part-time director. They've got an office downtown. They're paying people to go house to house, door to door. They're paying them $10 an hour. That's what they started off with, but now they've upped it because it's gotten so hot. They're paying them $12 an hour now to do it. And they're giving them water to walk, and they've got a cookbook. And I think they're also registering people to vote, or at least giving them the information that they need to register to vote. Because if you register now, 60 days prior to the election, you can vote in the election.
How about 30 days?
No, I think it's 60 days.
I think it's 30 days.
Well, the Board of Elections says 60,
Okay.
but it could be 30 now. I'm not sure.
60.
Okay, it was. Because I kept up with Deb. I called her the other day. In fact, I called just about every day because I heard the other day that they were going to allow this group to turn in because they were going to allow them to turn the petitions in as they got it. And my thought pattern is, I believe that there's too much room in there for somebody to know where they stand from day to day. Because they're going to need at least 11,000 signatures. Because they only need 7,500. But they're going to need at least 11,000 signatures because a lot of folks that are signing aren't registered to vote. So you need a whole lot more signatures than you actually need because a lot of them will be thrown out.
You and Calvin.
That's